I fixed it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, hello everyone. Yeah. Moving is difficult and annoying. It is not ideal. My computer, like since I set it up here, it has been just extra slow, like half speed at best. So hopefully it can even get through the stream. I don't know what the hell it's doing, but hopefully it'll keep it together for the show today. No, I've been gone for 4 whole weeks. I hope you guys have been able to figure out who your friend and enemy is without me telling you. I'm sure it's been rough. But yeah, I'll be moving again in another 4 weeks into my actual house. So it'll be another weird ANN schedule till then. But that's probably accurate. I'm probably your enemy. Although definitely not on Babylon. Because on Babylon, I'm not even like a top 1000 account. I'm basically not even logging into Hellspire's guild. I told him yesterday, I was like, I guess I'll build jump gates or something because I'm not even going to be over level 20. Because I'm not really playing on Babylon. Too busy. But despite me being busy, quite a lot has happened during the past month of Babylon. Had a few big crashes in the zeros. There's some smaller crashes in the 10s, and a whole derpy alliance was forced to relocate out of there. And we're going to have a few people on today to talk about it. Unfortunately, Vorlon, who was scheduled today, he had to cancel. About 2 hours ago, he told me he has a fish emergency, and he's going to be stuck with that all day. So lots of thoughts and prayers go out to all these various fish that need to be evacuated into different tanks ASAP. Vorlon is a big fish guy. Hey, X-Bolt, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Black Widow, I'll get to Leet's Babylon account. I'll get there. I mean, I'm gonna let him have a little bit of fun before I get on that. But Lee can have it for now. Let's see, but even with that one cancellation, we are still gonna have 2 guests today. There's Atreties from OPA on Antares. Get your hate out now. Someone from OPA will be on, and he's also in Stonk with DPS on Babylon. We're also going to have Anonymous from BS, Black Sails, who I'm sure can give us just as accurate a picture and as many details as Vorlon could from his side. He's in the Clarky gang on Babylon too. We don't have anyone from the 10s, but we're working on it. Hopefully we'll get Halo on and his brother next week. They're from the Cash Flow crew. But they were just busy this week. I'm glad you're stopping in, Halo. Appreciate it. But if anyone from the Clarky gang, from their leadership, maybe a last-second Irish replacement with a bad microphone can step up to the plate. I mean, who knows? Maybe we will get a secret third guest, but I doubt it. And we're just going to start off the day with a very, very, very quick month in review of Antares, which is going to be very quick. We all probably still have accounts there, but we're not doing much with them. Let's see. Only a couple things happened. The 10s invaded the zeros, and the zeros went into vacation mode, so the 10s left. The 20s invaded the 30s and 40s, and they didn't crash anything. They just farmed. The 40s sent their fleet out to the zeros, and right now the 40s and the zeros, they have all their fleet blobbed together in 09. And that's it. That's all that happened in a month. That's Antares. No one is surprised. The rankings don't really matter except for the top individual players. Number 1 is USSR Jordake. And then there's some Go and some OPA members. But I think we have a new number 1. Leet's been knocked off. But let's get to the real server. Let's get to Babylon because everyone is checked out of Antares. Very few people care about Antares anymore. We can get to the real new server, Babylon. Oh yeah, you quit too? You quit from the 30s. I don't blame you. 30s have had a hard shake of the server. About to ban the streamer from his own cat? That's a weird typo, Southie. But there is a lot to talk about on Babylon over the last month. And even though I haven't done anything on the server, that's why we're going to have some people on that can give some better details than me, because I've been totally out of it. Instead of being able to give super deep detail. And also, Clarky won't let me into the guild to watch the crashes. Trace did. Clarky won't. What's the deal with that? Anyway, the Zeros has probably been the big action cluster. They've had a couple of big crashes, both won by the big Clarky gang. Let's see, Top Gun, which is Silver Knight's guild, they lost the first crash. Top Gun was on the defense there, and they sat there and took it and died. And Audi and Stonk, they lost the second. They somehow managed to get themselves into an offensive crash situation, and they lost it because they didn't know there was a guild that was their enemy. Jord probably should be untrusted. That's probably the smarter thing to do. I'm usually up to something. Usually. But upon losing their crash, Audi was given some temporary peace terms to relocate out of their signature galaxy, BO2. And they were supposed to move out of the cluster completely. They said they were going to move up to 09 to use some stock jump gates to leave the cluster. But then instead they just decided to build all their bases in 08 and 09 anyway. And let Stonk and them have a super stronghold in the upper zeros. And not leave the cluster at all. Sure, whatever. The B10s were going to move up to the next cluster, or rather the only other cluster with anything happening. They had some, I guess, smaller scale galaxy contests. They had some like smaller crashes in some different galaxies. I know, I think Pokemon won one. I know Ku won one. And now everyone, I said the teens, they're generally under Ku leadership or Pokeweeb leadership. They're all basically the same anyway. They're all doing the same shit. And the main leader of that now is Cancer Crew crony Compulse. He's kind of leading the show up there. Fuckabank was playing in the 10s, but he got banned. So I guess he's not really doing it himself anymore. But all those various smaller groups that made up the anti-Star and Kirk Big Dumb Teens Alliance, They've generally all come together now under Pokeweeb leadership. Compulse leads reluctantly. Yeah, that sounds about right. Jord B looking like Mario today. Thanks, Badman. Oh yeah, Badman, are you still GM of Pokemon, or does Zoltar currently have the GM? I know you've been grumbling about it back and forth in some of the chats I've seen. No response. Well, I guess we'll get back to it later. But since the 10s have kind of settled down because Ku and Pokemon killed all of the Star and Kirk guilds, they've already decided they're going to declare their out-of-cluster allegiance to Stonk and Audi to fight against Clarky's gigantic pre-server Zerg. And in fact, they've really already moved all their fleet down. They have over 15 million fleet that's already in the zeros, and it's landing in BO5 very soon. Like, really soon? I forget. Clarky sent me some screenshots, but I'm not sure at the time. But speaking of screenshots and Clarky, I do want to show this one picture that when I was talking with Clarky about his guild pre-server, because I was trying to tell him that with a lot of the people that are in his group pre-server, they were going to recruit more people than he thought he would. Because Clarky, when he came on the ANN a couple months ago, he said, it's not going to be more than 80 players. We're not going to have this big crazy guild. But he told me that I'll make you a deal that you can print screen this line of the message. If I do end up as the killer Zerg, I will fight amongst myself. They won't give you a chance? They won't give you a chance, says Clarky. Okay. Yeah, because you are getting double clustered now. But you did have the biggest group pre-server and you allied the next largest group. So I can see how we got to this position. I can understand how it happened. Yeah, I thought it was within the hour, but I didn't know if the screenshot that I had was like up to the second or not something else. Yeah. So the teens are landing in 05 now, and the Clarky gang, his guilds, they've pulled out of 05. They're not going to fight that fight right now. But, oh yeah, I guess there are 20s and 30s and nothing is happening. Don't believe everything I get told? I'll try not to. Yeah, there's 20s and 30s and nothing is happening there. Hellsfire has the only guild in the 20s, and I don't think they're doing anything. I'm in there. I'm not doing anything, that's for sure. In the 30s, it's like the Detroit gang. They're up there, and there's nothing there. Yeah, you ninja lower 30s. Yeah, I'm not surprised. There was absolutely nothing there. Yeah, 4 clusters, and there's not 4 clusters worth of people. But before we get into our first interview, I'm going to take that quick moment to promote myself And I would just like to thank everyone that has tuned into the Astro News Network today, in the past, whenever. And I'd like to thank everyone that has followed and subscribed. It always helps out. It helps out a little bit here and there. I really appreciate it. And this is just your friendly reminder that if you do have Amazon Prime, you receive a free monthly subscription to your favorite streamer on Twitch every month. You can use this free subscription. It's completely free if you have Amazon Prime. And you can use that every single month. That's why I keep saying it every month. There's also a donate button like somewhere on the page. I don't know where it is. They changed the layout, so I can't even give you good directions to it. But if you ever want to do a random donation thing, you can do that too. One person did it once. He's on an island all by himself. But thank you. Oh, Cyan's Demigod Empire. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know you guys have been waiting on the edge of your seat for a new episode for a month. And also, I always try to upload these episodes next day onto YouTube so you guys can watch them again there. But that's enough of talking about myself and how you can give me Twitch Prime subs. I appreciate it. Oh, and I guess there's a this stream is so small we get 2 subs and it's a hype train, but we'll allow it. But what we're gonna do here, anonymous cheers. Hey, thanks guys. Wow, okay, awesome, thank you. But while I keep looking at these things and saying thank you over and over, I'm going to say we're going to get ready for our first guest, which is Atreties. He plays in OPA. Boo, OPA, server villains. And then he's also in Stonk with DPS. So we're going to talk about Antares only a little bit, and then we're going to talk about Babylon a lot, because I know they have some recent crash activity to talk about. And we're going to get together with that. So give me just a moment to get Atreties on with us, and we'll be right back.
I heard you. Wow, I can hear myself in the stream. Yeah, test, but I can hear myself in the stream.
Alright guys, I got all the sound settings are completely screwed up, which is just a real delight to work with. But we have Atreties here with us. Atreties, you can say hello to everyone. Alright guys. Oh god, hold on. I didn't see your voice come through on stream. Device, ding. Okay, now it should be showing up on stream. Good god. I'm ruining everything. It's my first time.
You pressed the button to mute me once I was supposed to be talking? That's good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but Atreties, you're a player that I only just met on Antares. We play together in OPA. Everyone boo OPA propaganda, naturally. Yep. And so everyone is going to hate everything that you say.
I love how people think that you're OPA propaganda, when like you're constantly like shitting on OPA. Like,
Constantly. Yeah. Well, I'm actually happier with OPA now, even though what they're doing is more
now that you
evil.
left,
Yeah. No, what the guild is doing is decidedly more evil. But the fact that they're being more open about it, they're just like, yeah, we're winning the server now. I'm fine. Now that we're not like pretending to be like the scrappy underdog, I like that OPA better. At least they're being honest about it.
yeah, it was an interesting transition because we set up to be the scrappy underdog, and then like everybody was crap, so we just shit on them. So
Yeah, that did happen.
and that and like yeah, Ali kind of just handed the server to us, so that was cool too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they just broke apart the 30s, and it was too late in the server for that to be just like a power grab. So it just sacrificed the cluster for the
And my
memes.
history be repeating itself with Ali handing the server to another cluster.
Maybe. But real quick, before we get into real detail on these servers, let's just get into your brief Astro Empire's history. Where'd you start? How'd you end up back on Antares? Just real quick.
Sure. So I started in beta when I was a angsty, dumb teenager, and I basically just don't remember beta at all. It was a server to learn, and then I played on SETI from the start, and I kind of through a like coup made Hi-Ho like #1 guild, and then was leadership in Hi-Ho for a while, and then we kind of won that server, and then so I quit, and so I hadn't really played for like a decade till I just saw that Utopia opened back up, and like I was a couple weeks late on Utopia, so I played that for a while under Trace, which was like kind of meh. Wasn't a fan of Trace's leadership. So when Trace and Mr. Black were working together, I was like, hey, can I like be with you next server? Because like these guys are kind of shit, so I like you guys. So then I was with the Boomers, and then I was in OPA. So pretty much it.
Yeah. That's nice and quick because you skipped every server between like City and Utopia. That's quite a bit.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk just briefly about Antares. I know because it's you and Pulsar that are kind of running the show in OPA most of it. Like you guys are doing a lot of the dirty work for ops. How is it just generally being in the only guild that's having any fun left on Antares that everyone hates?
Oh, it's great. Like it's nice to have infinite money and to just be able to click the attack button as much as you want. And nobody tries to actually like fight back. And so you just get to slowly eat away at the rest of the server, and you know, Trace is letting us just eat every other cluster for free. We get to super strong, and so eventually once we crash other people, we get to take all the derbs there, and then kill Trace for free. So it's gonna be nice.
So you're already predicting way down the road that OPA is going to kill USSR. Wow, big wow. I mean, you know the USSR has gotten a lot stronger. They had a really big upgrade at the top level of their guild.
I know. It's a nice new opportunity for me to gun for #1.
Yeah, but USSR doesn't do much right now. I try to ask Trace to let me take us on ops or something because I don't care about Babylon, and everyone in USSR leadership cares about Babylon, but I don't. So I'm like, hey, or like, let me do something on us in Antares. This is nothing, and I never thought I'd say it, but I'd rather be back in OPA just free farming stuff, where it's just. But
well, that would require you to actually play the game, Jordan.
No, well, when USSR went to the zeros, I did make money there. I actually did a thing there because I knew I was going to have to do a little bit of work in order to maintain rank 1. But we haven't done anything since or before, and I'm slowly losing my occupations to time, so we'll see how much longer I can cling to rank 1. But if I just get passed by Go Saluji or whatever his name is, I'll just get his account and I'll just trade up for that account.
Right, yeah, it makes sense.
Naturally. But let's get away from Antares. No one likes Antares. Let's move. Let's get on to Babylon. You're playing with DPS in Stonk. Just in general, how's the DPS experience been so far? How are you enjoying shifting from Boomer Guild to DPS Guild?
I much prefer the very laid back and highly organized leadership of Antares. Like, I like Boomer's. DPS is all right. He's much better than Trace was, but DPS is very like he wants to be on voice all the
He
time, like
loves
text based.
voice. He loves voice chat.
He just loves voice chat, and he does like all of his organizing and everything on voice chat, and like So like here's the thing, right? You got me on because I'm technically in stonk leadership, but I have very low clue of what the heck is going on because DPS just does everything in voice chat.
It makes sense. Makes sense. But I guess you guys are right now. You have a good situation where the teams are backing you guys up, so you might actually get to go back on the offensive again against the Clarky gang because their fleet's
Yeah,
all in
yeah.
05. I'm not sure how much you guys have left.
It's kind of awkward because the whole DPS mentality was like, okay, we're gonna be this like scrappy underdog with all the best accounts and go really heavily defensive with our fleet specs, which is like the whole bomber meme
mhm.
and everything, and then we are going on 2 offensive movements now. So it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, DPS, he always says he hates Zerging. He hates Zerging. He doesn't want to have the
And now we
most
have the
numbers on
biggest,
the side.
Zerg in the server. So
Well, he says the same thing on Nexus when he was allied to 3 clusters and attacked the zeros, and then he switched
by
sides,
the
and
way,
then
by the way, all of my opinions here aren't stonk opinions or DPS opinions.
sure, well,
It's just me.
DPS is already in here disagreeing.
Yeah.
DPS says they have hundreds less players in their alliance. Hundreds less.
Yeah, but like way more fleet.
Yeah. But so yeah, so I guess do you think that you like bombers like more or less
Actually,
than you
yeah.
did before?
Actually, yeah. Bombers are like I can see, especially really early game before caps come in, like the power per like amount of fleet is
Mhm.
actually super high with bombers, and they're really good against like both frigs and cruisers, which are like the only fleets that people have right now, and nobody has the things that counter frigs and cruisers yet. So they're actually pretty solid.
Oh yeah, because I know we're getting real close to dreadnoughts. Some people in the teens, someone like anonymously showed me like someone in Ku was building a dread already, and then a few days later, Cashflow shows me he has dreads on the way. In my Ranvia, he says it's weird to define Zergs by fleet rather than accounts. That's
I kind of
probably
agree.
accurate. I think that's an agree statement for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of agree. It's just like how much of those hundreds of extra accounts really like count. Like are they actually like gonna be like relevant? So.
But yeah, let's talk about the recent crash in BO2.
Oh, that was
Where
fun. That was actually really fun crash.
Yeah, like what drove you guys to make the offensive move against the much larger enemy? I'm not sure of how you caught were trying to catch something out of position. Can you break down some of that for me?
So again, this is my take on something, not the official take, but it seemed as though we were like, okay, well, they massively outnumber us, and we're just going to get completely zerged and destroyed if we allow them to build up. So let's build up really fast and take them out while they are still trying to respond to us building up really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So we organized a big launch and tried to get everything mobilized as much as we could, and launched. And we actually had really close to the amount needed, but there was some like clerical error where like one guild didn't get put into the category of like they're gonna fucking kill us. So and then by the time we realized that we were landing at 4 a.m., so like the chances of us actually recalling were really low. So
Yeah.
it was either try our hand at the 1 in 10 chance that we're gonna win this, or lower maybe, or just hand them like 2+ million fleet to super easily eat. Especially since we're like all bombers, they're just gonna eat us with like the BS, like battleship caps for free, and just get locked tons of free crap. Or we can actually hurt them because like everybody's armor value is so low that like even if you win a crash, it nobody wins, you know.
Yeah, and
So
also you guys, I think you guys already had not you specifically, I'm not sure exactly when the pacts between Stonk and Audi and the teens came. Probably
Mhm.
was before then, before the crash, which made it be like, hey, we can hurt them, and then the teens will come, and then we can win later. I'm not sure the
no,
exact timing
no,
on
it
that, but it
was
could
it
have
was
been.
like, you know, hey, do you want to help us kill the Zerg? We asked the teens of that, and they're like, nah, we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do once you guys fight it out. Like, we'll fight you if you win, and we'll fight them if they win.
Yeah.
And so we lost, and so now they packed it up with us.
Yeah, you spoke just a little bit ago about there was a guild that existed that wasn't thought of as would be an enemy guild. Do you have any insight as to who the mystery GM of Ahoy might be?
I heard it was Baylor, or at least
That's
Baylor's in it.
He's in it, but I don't think it's actually him. But that's the joke answer, I think.
Oh, okay. So that's all I heard. Like, I just heard Baylor's name thrown around a bunch.
Yeah, because I
Like,
remember the first night because he was in the guild, and that was who he got flamed
Antares
all night.
is the server I actually care about, and Babylon was supposed to be a chill server where I was just following. I was supposed to just be in Celeste's guild. Like, that was what me and Pulsar were like. Yeah, let's join Celeste because, you know, she's highly competent and like really good at the game, and we're just gonna be in her guild because we know that she's, you know, really good and been a successful GM in the past, and she's really aggressive. So we're like, hell yeah, that sounds good. And so she didn't get enough people, and then she's like, oh, let's just join DPS. And then we crashed, and she lost her whole fleet, and she got really angry with the logistics of everything that was going on, so she quit.
So she probably quit. Yeah.
She just dumped us on DPS and was like, ah, later.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah, because I think like once Celeste gets in some situation where she's not just snowballing her great account, she's saying, "I'm out of here. Screw this. I'm done." So
she
I could
must
see
love.
that. Yeah.
She must love Antares because her account's insane.
I know it's too bad they keep finding spies in Mean for Celeste to eat. They just keep finding these spy accounts, and then she uses her capital stack to eat them for no losses.
I
so
don't think
weird.
she's actually eaten anybody in Mean, which is like surprising. Like, I was like, oh, early on I was like, oh
No,
yeah, she's gonna eat everybody in Mean, but I actually don't think she has.
that is completely inaccurate.
Is it? Okay.
Oh yeah.
I just haven't seen it then. That's all.
Oh yeah, that has definitely happened.
If you say so, but I actually haven't seen it. Like, I was pretty sure that all of the meanies are still around.
Usually,
Like, or there was like one super early on that got banned, so we ate it. So,
usually there is every time like OPA goes on an op at a cluster, a mean real player spy gets kicked and eaten by Celeste. Is what happens.
if you say so.
That I guess that's just the theory. But so after the crash,
it's entirely possible. That's what I
Yeah.
expected to happen, but I haven't actually seen it.
yeah, back to Babylon, which we're going to keep talking about no matter what. After the crash, so what can you tell me from your perspective? What happened with the Audi relocation mess? Like they were going to leave out of the cluster, and then they didn't. Because they had a 3-day pact, and I remember seeing in the Discord that they started planning bases in 8 and 9, and then Alicus was saying, well, you broke the pact! But I don't think the pact actually got broken, and now you guys just have a super mega stronghold in 8 and 9 with your 2 guilds, so...
Yeah, from the perspective of Stonk, DPS was like, hey, we have a do not hit with these guys, and then they just kind of all showed up in our cluster with a whole bunch of fleet.
Or real quick, in DPS's guilds, a DNH is do not harm. It's not do not hit.
Is it?
Yes, it's do not harm.
That's really weird.
I agree.
Why would it be harm?
But that's what Dips calls them.
That's really strange.
Yes.
Anyway, it's definitely do not hit. I don't know who dropped you in the head as a child, but anyway. But so they just kind of showed up with a whole bunch of fleet because they lost the crash. So they're just like all their dregs showed up here, and then they're like, okay, they're setting up shop. So that's the entire like amount. Even in leadership, there wasn't like discussion of, you know, should we let them set up, or is that going to be harmful for us in the long term? Like they're going to be in our cluster. Like, no, it was just they're just taking all of our roids now.
Yeah, well, because I figured with a 3.0, there's so many more like viable Astros. Like
That's
super planing a galaxy like that is probably not as awful. And it's not like you guys don't already have like base 12, 13, whatever it is by now. So
It's 11 and a couple have 12.
Okay.
Because we haven't been able to like sim it up.
Is this actual Irish Eyes in chat? I want to ask for real.
Ooh.
He's always posting quality content that I enjoy on Facebook. So I just want to see real Irish Eyes. Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Hi, Irish. Are you actually playing the server, or did Wheels just ask you to watch?
But yeah, in short, the answer is I have no idea because we don't get any information in as to what the heck is going on and why. It's just all in DPS's head.
Yeah, you know, or it's in voice chat, so there's no record of it, so it can't be held against you guys. Yeah, it makes sense.
There's not like, you know, if you're not on the voice chat, you can't just like put in your 2 cents later. It's just like, you know, be here or be square.
Yep. So I guess now we've talked about it a little bit that the tens, Ku and Pokemon, they're allied with you guys in the zeros. You guys are already in 05. What are some of the numbers between your side and the Clarky gang side? Like, how much fleet do you guys have mobilized? How much fleet do they have mobilized left? And do you think you might be crashed soon?
We have kind of shit for like a scout organization. Like nobody's assigned galaxies or anything like that to like auto scout. So our reports are kind of crap. So the only knowledge is like in PS's head of exactly all the numbers that are going on. But as far as I understood, it was like we have many millions more than the Clarky side. So we're just gonna like steamroll them.
Yeah, because I think that might be happening. Because you guys, like, they came down. You're already down to 05. And, and so I think the screenshot I have, there's like roughly 17 million allied fleet there. So that's a lot.
Yeah. And that was like, and more is streaming in because they're from a different cluster, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Like, and prod really matters at this stage. So they're just constantly streaming in more and more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to be really nice. We're gonna very nicely hand over this server to the tens, and we're gonna be their nice little lapdogs in 08 and 09.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll have another guild that shows up that they didn't know was their ally, and then they'll join them. You never know. They might have like Ahoy too. I mean,
there's so many people in the 00s that's entirely possible.
It's a legitimate possibility.
I think there's like 500 to like 550 real accounts in the 00s. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts because that's way more than everything else combined. But yeah, so I guess there'll be another crash coming up real soon because I may be trying to do another episode straight up next week because I could tell this crash was brewing and I want to catch up on some episodes when I missed everything for a month. So if there is a crash next week, I will definitely have another episode. But is there? I think I'm running out of prepared questions for you. Is there any other declarations you want to make on behalf of Stonk and DPS and or OPA?
You know, it's more like this is a kind of a meme server for me. So like I wasn't really planning to try. I was just gonna sim fleet for Celeste, and then she dumped me on DPS. So you know, the declaration is we're gonna have a really good time just eating you on Antares and then eating Trace on Antares. So it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to rush that. You still gotta kill all the other clusters too.
Well, I mean, every other cluster just runs away and then gets eaten, or tries to VM and then gets eaten. And so if you don't actually try to play the game, then we're just gonna play the game for you. We're gonna take your derbs, and then we're gonna play the game with your derbs.
Sounds good. Yeah. Brave claims on Antares where you guys have the super dominating lead. But I want to thank you so much for coming on, Antares, and hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah. Last note. I don't hate you, Jord. Why did you think that I disliked you?
You're always very mean to me in chats.
I'm very mean to everybody. Like, it's just me fucking around. What are you?
I don't. It feels very personal. Very personal.
I'm so sorry, Jord.
Yeah.
What did I ever do?
You did not applaud me for obtaining the rank 1 accounts.
I know,
based on my own merit.
Not even kidding. I don't know how you managed that. That's actually like, how did you get handed the rank 1 account when you're not even in the guild? That was pretty funny.
I was bothering Trace about it the moment that I heard USSR would be quitting when Babylon opened, and
Squeaky
so
wheel, man.
so I
Squeaky
just
wheel.
started telling him, I was like, "Hey, give me that account or else." And
And so he just like,
and
I can take an OPA leadership member away from them if I just give him this account.
and also it was more. I think it was more of he didn't want to have another account to pilot, so he went to me. And I just complained constantly. All the complaints I had in OPA, I've just moved them over to USSR now.
Yeah, I know you're constantly complaining about that. Anyway, go to your other guest.
Yeah, but yep, I will let you go, Antares. You have a good, or Antares, Atreties. You have a good one.
Yes, Eamon.
Right. All right, that was our OPA propaganda segment for the week. I'm going to scroll up a little bit where Irish Eyes says, when do you interview the best known player in Astro Empires? I don't know who he's talking about there, but Irish Eyes, if you would like to come on sometime, I think that would be great. We can talk about all sorts of Astro history that we have together, and you have without me. We could do that sometime for sure. But we have another guest on. We are going to talk to Anonymous, who I'm sure we've seen spewing some important truths in the Astro Empires Discord. We're going to get him on next. So if you give me just a moment, we're going to take another little quick break, and we'll be right back with Anonymous. All right, guys, we are here with our next guest, Anonymous, with a equally or almost as equally blank profile as Atreties had. But why don't you say hello to everyone, Mr. Anonymous?
Hi, guys.
All right, so you've been very outspoken about who you like and who you dislike in the Discord. But before we maybe get into a little bit of that, can you just give us a brief little Astro Empires history about yourself?
It kind of jumps around a little bit. So I started in the alpha beta days. My brother was a friend. I had a friend that ended up actually playing this, and I seen it one day while he was in the school library, and that's just kind of where it started. And we all started in Rainbow Lambas on beta, and then I just kind of split off after that. I played up until Myra, and then I ended up coming back in Utopia after that, but I've played with quite a few folks. I've played with Baylor, played with Bellwire. I didn't start playing with Slippin' and the Wheels gang until Utopia. I kind of started solo over there in the 30s after they ran off China over there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, kind of just been with them ever since.
Yeah. I can tell you're definitely maybe slightly like 5% biased towards Jimmy and Trace and 5% against their opponents.
Oh, I don't mind Jimmy. Trace can shove it though.
Oh, I love it already. So you're the resident. I would say you might be the Babylon expert in the Astro Empires Discord. Sometimes you're really dropping a lot of like knowledge and truth on everyone. Yeah, I think you're the guild. You're in Black Sails. Do you want to give us just a breakdown of your Babylon experience with the Clarky crew so far?
Basically, I got recruited. Well, I kind of asked Slippin' if he had anything going on, and then kind of recruited over here. I knew Alecus was starting in the lowers, and I knew that we were going to start on him, and I wanted a little bit of taste of some revenge from the Antorus situation between what happened between him and Cloak. So I definitely got that. So we kind of knew it was going to be a fight from 00 to 03 anyways.
Yeah, because I think both groups were looking for a contest. So I'd be surprised if they didn't know it was happening.
Oh yeah, we knew it, and like I mean, it kind of goes into the whole people trying to claim we're zerging on purpose. So when I first joined up, it was about 60 people. They assumed that we had about 80, which kind of just slowly grew as we kind of recruited more and more people. From what I understand, every GM of each of the guilds and stuff did their own recruitment. So that's why I'm in O2 with Jimmy. And then Clarky and Wheels and them had their own recruitment and stuff. So it kind of just ended up being
A little
a
bigger.
large group of friends anyways.
Yeah, a large group of people. I think it ended up being like 120 in your initial groups or so, and then China was also there. And then I think there was Clarky had a one pre-packed across the server with her gang, and that was with the star gang that was in the teens, but they're all kind of gone now. I thought they like relocated out of the teens down to like empty 6 and 7, but did they even actually come down?
Oh, Red? I don't know anything about that one.
Yeah.
I've heard some flame about that one, but I haven't heard anything about it. But yeah, no, they're definitely down there with us now.
Yeah, but yeah, flame would probably be accurate to describe that situation. But yeah, did you get to participate in either one of the two big crashes so far, the one against Top Gun or the one against Audi and Stonk?
No, so I didn't do anything when it come to 0-0. I'm in 01 with the Jimmy crew. But the O2 stuff, the big crash, I did take part in. I was actually one of the first hits too, because one of their people sent really early with a heavy cruiser fleet to the blob, and I ended up just hitting it to avoid any of the damage towards anyone else.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I guess, are you able to currently? So we lost Vorlon, so I need you to give as much Clarky gang experience as you can. Are you able to get to list right now all the guilds that make up the Clarky Alliance?
All the meaningful ones I can give you a good idea of. We have FFS, Beach, BS, BBQ, IC, and Ahoy.
And Ahoy. What about the ones that don't count? What about the less relevant ones that are still on the list?
The less relevant ones are all the ones that just want to see Alecus burn. So.
But I mean, they got to be on your pack list. I'm just curious to know how long it actually is.
No, not really. Well, I mean, MCRN is on there, but everyone else isn't.
Right, so I think I heard only 6 guilds on the list, guys. That's only 6. So I don't even know if that is a Zerg. I don't know. Can anyone even say what is a Zerg or not anymore?
I think number-wise, for the amount of people that we have, it kind of outrules their particular side too. Yeah. But they also got guilds and stuff that come from the 30s that got to sim it up for free too. So there's that.
Hold on, have the 30s decided they're against you guys also?
Oh, Coop is 100% down there with them.
Well, hold on. Coop's from the teens. They're not from the 30s.
Or our Pokemon, or Pokeweebs, right?
Pokeweeb is also from the teens.
Oh, well. No, I thought Coop was in the upper 30s, though.
No, that's TLDR.
Oh. Yeah, no, I haven't seen TLDR then. No, okay. I stand corrected then. Okay.
Yeah, both those guilds that came down, those are both the teens guilds that beat up MCRN. Those are those guys. But yeah. But you had Ahoy was one of the other allies of that guild. I'm just trying to ask everybody, do you have any clues or thoughts as to who the mystery GM of Ahoy is? People have been just wondering about this for weeks since they declared that they were on the Friends of Clarky. I just wanted to know who you thought their GM actually was.
I have no clue. In particular, it's definitely not Baylor. It's definitely not him. I can guarantee that.
But he's getting blamed for it.
Yeah, he's definitely taking the heat for that one. But
yeah,
it's I don't know much about it. It's definitely become a meme though.
Yep. So after the O2 crash, I wanted to talk about Audis and like the temporary pack that was supposed to be for Audi relocating, and then they didn't actually move out of cluster. What did you think about that pack? Did you think it was a good idea for them to try to relocate out? What did you think as non-LS of the Clarky gang?
Alecus got dropped on his head if he thinks that 09 is not leaving cluster. So that's in particular what started most of it too. But there was a lot of other minor issues with some of the other people. Some of them were building fleet when they weren't supposed to. I don't know who the hell think it's a good idea to build disruptor turrets on a base that they're quote unquote disbanding. But there was that, and then there was a bunch of new bases and stuff that popped up as well.
Yeah, because I did hear that there were a lot of signs that they weren't actually leaving the cluster. Because from what I had chatted with Vorlon a little bit, was that they had also part of the pact was that all of the Audi members, they could pick up like their leftover fighters that were on their bases, like so they could build carriers to move them out. And it seemed like it was super clear they would have just like moved up to 09 and like fighter stacked it, so Stonk would be super reinforced. But that was the pack they went with. I thought it was super weird that was the pack they gave, and then they just planted all their bases in 08 and 09.
I mean, in particular, they gave Alicus room to move, and that's what happened. As soon as Cloak posted it and stuff like that, I was like, dude, why are we giving this guy room? Why don't we just feed off of it and just make him leave on our turn?
Yeah, he's the king of you give him an inch and he takes a mile. So naturally, that's what happened. Naturally, it should surprise no one, but got to surprise you guys' leadership. So right now, the teens, the Coup and Pokeweebs, they've come down. They're in your face. They're in 05. Are you able to talk about what your guys' current defensive stance is? You guys have fallen back out of 05. Did you guys just move to 04, or where have you guys moved from there?
Strategic wise is the reason we moved, but they can try if they want. It's not gonna work out very well for them.
Yeah, because they have from the little screenshot I saw of what was moving to 05, there was 17 million fleet. How much fleet is on your guys' blob right now?
I think over 19, maybe even 20 at this point.
Oh well, that's a bigger number. Bigger number's better.
Somewhat. There's other advantages. I'm not gonna spiel, but they could try if they want.
Okay, so War BV is claiming that Pokey and Coup have 19 million amongst themselves, and then Stonk has 9 million to add to the pile. But I guess he's just talking about the general numbers that are in the zeros.
I don't think all of that fleet's in the zeros. From what I've seen, those numbers don't match up with what they've been showing. I know some of Coop's fleets and stuff are still sitting in 09 too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In 02. Okay. So, I mean, if you guys have your 20 million blob and theirs is a bit over 20 million, they still have to get a good sync to beat you guys.
Well, if they pull out a sync like they did in the 02 crash, I don't think they're going to win anything.
Oof. But you got to watch out for those bombers, though. DPS and the bomber gang, they're coming for you.
Oh, please do. Please do. If they want to bomber meme it up again, then be my guest.
Yeah, because all I'm really hoping for is that they make a crash happen before next Sunday, so I can talk about it next Sunday.
If you really want something to talk about, like, they've done nothing but like inactive on their blob for like the last week, I think. I maybe wait for other people, but we've done nothing but eat at their bases and produce. So, yeah.
Do you know if anyone has dreadnoughts yet in the Clarky gang so far, or has anyone started producing dreads? I've heard of some in other clusters in Stonk, but not in the Clarky gang.
We've had them for a while, to be fair.
Okay, you've had dreads for a while now. Those are some early dreads, but I believe it. Oh well, Badman, thank you for just handing out 1 million subs. Badman, do you have anything to talk about for your Pokeweeb gang coming on down to the zeros? DPS says farming multis must be so hard. I don't know if you knew this, but DPS does not really care for multis.
Well, if he's we've been farming him. So like, if he wants to call his own particular guild a bunch of multis, then I'll accept it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had battleships ninja into their galaxy or their regions and stuff, and just hit these really tasty bases.
Yeah. So I think I'm actually starting to run out of my prepared questions for you. Do you have any plans going forward for Babylon aside from just winning this fight, and any other maybe declarations you want to make for some other builds that you're not a big fan of in the cluster?
Well, I know most of everyone else. DPS and Alicus really I didn't really know much of. DPS seems really cool. Alicus, there's not a word in the dictionary to describe that dude.
Okay.
But like, I'd really like to see that this server be lively for a while and not die out like Antorus. Well, not even die out like the last couple of servers too. I'd like to move this to the older days on how things worked out.
Yeah, we will. We'll see how that goes. I mean, there's only 2 clusters worth of players on this server, so I doubt it has too terribly much life.
True.
In Compulse, I see what you sent me. Yeah, there's 15 million on that one location, 2 million on the other one. He said a lot has already launched off to make hits in 05. So yeah, he says he's got 19 million in his crew hanging out in 05. But you said that DPS is a pretty cool guy. So that's a brave statement to make on its own, I think.
He's got a despite some of the flame and him trying to pick up for Alicus, he has a pretty decent brain on him. So
yeah, I like DPS
I don't mind
too.
him.
DPS is a weirdo, but I like weird, so it's fine by me.
I agree.
Yeah. So you said DPS. You're happy to have him as an enemy, Alicus, or you're glad to try to kill him. That's what you think about the 0-0s right now. Did they give you any? Did anyone else in the Clarky gang give you any message for you to talk about on the show, or do you think I might get to wrap you up?
No, you're good. He just said to spit facts and flame, and I did it. So
spit facts and flame. You got it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on and on. I appreciate your time and hope you have a good rest of your weekend.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
All right, thanks, man. Bye. All right, that was our Babylon expert from the Clarky gang, Anonymous. He's not in actual leadership, but I think he did a good job of knowing which clusters were invading him and not. But yeah, Chad was just blown. GPS, you had a lot to say throughout all of this. I think you said everything he said was wrong, which I think is not very nice for someone who seems to like you. Should have been nice back to him. DPS has been on 100 times, and we got one of his guildmates in here, Atreties, to come on. So, as much as I do like having DPS on, now is not the right time. But I think we still have I think we got a good server here on Babylon. Still lots of fighting. I mean, if the teens goes down, which they're already down there, but if they just end up smashing the Clarky gang as quick as it seems like they might, the server might be a pretty quick one. Because the teens are secretly a very strong cluster, even though they don't have the player count the zeros do. They're a strong cluster. And if the Clarky gang loses a crash against the combined might of Audi, Stonk, and the Tens, I don't think their player count is going to stay as massively large as it is. Especially if the teens, after crashing, they just kind of stay down there and keep farming. But who knows what will happen. We don't even know if the teens will win. They might. They seem to have a bit more fleet, but we'll see what happens. But since Vorlon had a fish emergency, I am going to have to end the show right now instead of having Vorlon on to come on. Vorlon is the Galaxy Commander of O2 for the Clarky gang. It was going to be... that was Wheels' Galaxy, but Wheels had some stuff come up, so Wheels handed it over to Vorlon, and Vorlon was going to give us some good details on their O2 crash and what he thought about the relocation of Audi to the other end of the cluster. But that'll be for another day. But so that's it, guys. That's the show. Antares is still old and boring, and Babylon is the future. Still the newest server yet. But thank you, everyone, once again for tuning in. Hope you're all having some degree of fun on Babylon. I know I'm happy to goof off and do nothing in Hellspire's Guild, taking up their bottom slot. Maybe I'll get into the top 1,000 so I can be looked up, but we'll see. But if you are interested in coming on the ANN, you can always go ahead, reach out to me. You don't have to be an officially some leader or something. We had Anonymous on. He was not a guild leader. But the ANN does discriminate based on your rank. You don't have to be a leader. So where's the news for the 30s? There is no news for the 30s. There is none. DPS, I asked Compulse to come on. He didn't come on. Acting like I didn't ask people. Although in next episode, we're definitely getting some teens representation. Not age-wise, but cluster-wise. We're going to get from the cluster the teens will be on, and they're going to talk about their contests where they beat up all the Star and Derek gang. But that's it. That's the end of the show. I'm not going to drag it on. We're going to be under an hour again today. So thanks again, guys, for watching. I think there's going to be an episode next week. I think there will be next Sunday. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.